So guys, welcome back to the UK HADO channel. Today I'll be with Ash and Shamai, and we'll be covering everything tournament based which has happened this year. Ash, how are you, my friend?
I am very good, sir. How are you?
I'm really good, just excited to get into everything tournament based. We have 6 tournaments we'll be going through in this video, and yeah, I can't wait to get into them.
Yeah, we've had a lot of tournaments so far. There's a lot more coming up later this year. And we've now got this new tournament structure, ranking point structure, where the more tournaments you go to, the more points you earn, the higher you are in the league. And then when you get to the top 8 positions in the country, that's when it gets really spicy, because you can get a lot more points. You get to come to a lot more league tournaments and get a lot more points at the top. So it is really important. The more tournaments you go to, the more points you get.
So it's more like the more you play, the more rewards you get.
Yes. Keep it simple.
It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Obviously, we'll explain each tournament, whether it's local, regional, or national. We'll explain how that tournament structure works and the points awarded at each tournament. We'll mention that at the start of each video as well.
Yeah, so guys, we're going to get straight into the first tournament, which is the HADO Grand Slam, and I'll see you guys there. So, Ash, let's get straight into the Grand Slam. So, can you tell me how the point system in the Grand Slam works, please?
Grand Slam is a national tournament, so it's the top of the top. Each game you win, or each set you win, is worth 6 points, with bonus points awarded for the top 3 places. 100 bonus points for the first place, 75 for second, and 50 for third, with the 6 points for each game, whether it's best of 1 or best of 3, which this was best of 3. Doesn't really matter, you get 6 points.
So it's a brilliant way to start the year off, is the Grand Slam. Let's get straight into some of the games. You had some massive upsets and stuff like that, so let's get straight into it. So guys, in the Grand Slam, we had 3 new teams. The boys, Triple Threat and Warp Star. Now, you would say 2 of those teams did overachieve and 1 team did as expected. Would you agree?
100%. Big shout out to Triple Threat. I think they came 6th overall, which is halfway up the table. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Triple Threat.
Warp Star coming 7th, just beyond Triple Threat.
It was close. Close games between those 2 teams.
The boys came 9th, however, it was their first ever tournament, so they weren't expected to come out fighting, because there was a bunch of experienced teams there, such as the Mongooses, Wolfpack, and the T-Wolves, and Synergy. It's actually a really hard tournament, so they did really well.
And Team No.
And Team No.
Big up Team No. One thing we need to mention, Titans versus Wolfpack. Titans, one of the newest teams, and Wolfpack,
the oldest.
Somebody's going to correct me down below, but yeah, I'd say Wolfpack are probably the 4th oldest team in Europe, after IDK fighting Mongooses and that sort of stuff. So they're quite an old team regardless. And in this tournament, you've got to drop this game over the screen right now. The first game, Titans beating Wolfpack in the first game, 11-10.
In overtime. Jude getting the final kill on Shamai.
Yes! Big shout out to Jude, smashing it. It was absolutely incredible. Just the atmosphere of that game is incredible. You know, Titans beating Wolfpack. I'm not saying they shouldn't have beaten them, but it was just, you expect an experienced older team like Wolfpack to have won, and Titans throwing an upset there, really, really good. However, the final 2 games, it does result in a Wolfpack taking the match in its entirety. But again, it just shows that a bit of training, Titans, is happening.
And I would like to say this is the best tournament Wolfpack have had this year. This was their best performance in a tournament this year. So the fact that Titans took a game off them during their best performance this year is also quite impressive.
100%.
Ash, let's talk rivalries. Now, I'd say the biggest Midlands rivalry is probably between Team No and Wolfpack. It's a spicy rivalry.
It is, because both teams are really, really, really good. And on pitch, it's something that you've got to train as well. Is if you're on pitch, your enemies. If you're off pitch, your friends, your training partners.
However, this team here in training do keep the rivalry going. It's probably the most fierce rivalry in HADO.
At the moment, yeah, we are growing on it and building on it and stuff. But 100%, there is definitely a rival there.
Oh, it's not hatred. It's not that they don't like each other. It's just their teams are rivals. They just somehow formed a big rivalry. Wolfpack and Team No always going at it. Mainly, I'd say Tom and Lucas have the biggest rivalry in the team.
Potentially, yes. It's tricky because, as I've just mentioned, Wolfpack being one of the oldest teams in Europe, you'd expect them to be one of the best teams in Europe. And when you've got this new team, Team No, 12 months old, coming through, taking games off certain key teams, is like, actually, Team No is one to look out for.
Team No is definitely to look out for. On the topic of Team No, we also have T-Wolves, who are almost more experienced version of Team No, one of the older teams as well. But they do have two very good players on it. And we know why they are not better than the other two players, but they train every single day. Their teammates don't, so you can see a big jump in skill.
Yes, I think if we focus with T-Wolves a little bit, yes, Harley and Massin, they have a lot more dedication than their other two teammates. If we can get the dedication of the two teammates up, again, that team would be one of the best teams going.
However, Team No don't actually train that much, which is the funny part. Team No
they don't train that much, and they're really good.
And they are one of the best teams in the Midlands. Guys, exiting the Grand Slam and going into the Northern Regional. Ash, you attended that tournament. Can you tell me about the 3 brand new teams which played in that tournament?
I can. One thing I want to quickly go over right at the start of the video, I mentioned about explaining how the points work. Being a regional championship, each game you win at this one are 3 points, not 6, just like the national we just had. 3 points for every game you win, whether it's best of 1 or best of 3. You get 3 points. And then you get your bonus points of 50, 30 and 10 for the top 3 places. So again, regionals are really important to come to. Take first place in a regional, you win loads of points, and you get those 50 bonus points. It's important.
That's quite nice.
Looking at the 4 teams that did turn up, yes, 3 new teams. 1 original team, Barnsley Griffins. We'll come back to those in a few seconds. But a few new teams, Salford Jade Dragons from Salford Uni. We've got Straw Hats, which is a second Barnsley team. And we also do have NUF, which is Newcastle United Federation. Both Barnsley and Newcastle have their own HADO courts, so they do have training programs with them. So in theory, those should be the top 2 teams, which we're about to find out.
Okay, I like that. Were there any major games there, or did it all run as expected?
Relatively ran as expected, and obviously with the 3 new teams, with Barnsley Griffins, they didn't lose a game.
That's pretty impressive.
They won every single game all the way through the semis, the first and second place playoffs, and all that sort of stuff, straight through to the finals. They won every single game, got a max amount of points, which it gave them 65 points in total, which currently puts them into 7th place in the UK.
Which means they'll be in the league on Sunday.
They will. So we're going to swing on down to the Brighton Cup,
where we actually had 2 teams who had players in the World Cup. You had the Rockhoppers, who had Seb attend, and you had pretty much the whole of RDK attend the World Cup.
They did indeed, with one of the other players from Mongooses, one of the Midlands teams.
That is Alex, an amazing player, one of the oldest players in Europe.
Probably by age and probably by team, yeah.
Yeah, probably age and team.
Point structure for local tournaments, be it the Brighton Local Cup, doesn't matter where it's local. Point structure, every single game you win, or every set you win, whether it's best of 1, best of 3, you get 1 point, and then you get bonus points, 15, 10 and 5 for the top 3 teams. So it's really important to start winning those local points.
So, in the first game of the Brighton Cup tournament, it was the Boss versus Rockhoppers, and it actually went to overtime. And I believe the Boss took the final point. However, the first game of the tournament going to overtime really set the tone for the tournament, being a close tournament. Even to the final game where the Boss and RDK went to a replay, where the Boss actually won. However, RDK had a technical difficulty, therefore making the match go to replay, where RDK did beat the Boss in the replay.
Interesting games. Some really close teams down there, so interesting tournament.
Again, setting up for the rest of the season, this bit of a... I'm not going to use rivalry because they train together, they talk together, they are really good friends, but there's a bit of a friendly competition between RDK and the Boss where they're both fighting out and taking games off each other and just making a bit of a... Every time they play, there's an aura around it.
100%. It's brilliant. Brilliant to watch those teams.
Anyone can win. Exiting the Brighton Cup and leading straight into the Midlands Regional, we have me and Ash. We're going to talk about how this is the biggest tournament we've had this year.
13 teams turned up for the West Midlands Regional Championships.
Including one new team, Agents of HADO, who came dressed up as what?
I mean, the closest I can give you is Men in Black.
We'll have that down there now.
So good.
Brilliant picture.
Perfect.
Yeah. They also did really well. I believe they came ninth, so they
Ninth.
came top 10 in their first ever tournament, beating out teams like Warp Star and Triple Threat, who are two very good teams.
It did. Absolutely incredible.
I believe they have a player from Triple Threat in their team as well. Rohan.
Yes. Both teams sort of splitting away into because they were one team previously, which was Triple Threat, and then they moved over, created a new team, Agents of HADO, just because there's more teams now. It's
And
getting
now
better.
they are a team to be feared. They are definitely a team to be feared. Let's go on to T-Wolves. Now T-Wolves actually went 7-6 with you in overtime, and now this is a one-game tournament, so it's not a best of three. Therefore, meaning if T-Wolves beat you, they would have taken your spot.
I'm assuming the video is playing on the screen right now somewhere.
Yeah, of T-Wolves nearly beating the great team Synergy.
The great team synergy. No, it was intense. They just took advantage of key points, and we weren't ready for it, and it was good.
On the video, I believe you can hear me shouting loads for T-Wolves to win.
No, you were specifically shouting "shoot Nahar" or whatever it was.
Yeah, because
It's so unfair.
Okay.
But it's good. It was good. It was really good because it went to overtime, and yeah, we weren't going to lose that game. Simple.
Yeah. Let's get on to Titans. Titans, again, were biggest underdogs in HADO.
Big
Have
shout out to
won
Titans.
3 games. They beat Warp Star, the RGM Blades, and Agents of HADO. And now Agents of HADO came 9th. They actually, I believe they ranked above Titans, which is quite impressive. Titans beat a team which ranked above them. I could be wrong.
Yes. I'm just checking out the. No, Agents of HADO and Titans joint 9th.
I'll join North, so they ranked the same.
Absolutely incredible.
Brilliant.
I love it. Well done, Titans.
I would also like to give a big shout out to the 3 Brighton teams which came to this Midlands regional. A 3-hour drive to come down. You had Team Techno, The Boss, and IDK. And when The Boss and IDK played, it actually had 1 point in it. It was an 8-7 game to IDK. The Boss could have won it. Again, The Boss just creeping closer to IDK and just crawling away and getting to the same level as IDK, really.
It's good, man. Bit of training by both teams. Just shows what dedication can do. So that's it from me for now. I'll be back in a bit. However, I'm going to hand over to Shamai, take my place for a bit.
And I believe me and Shamai are going to talk about the London Regional.
Yeah, man. See you in a bit.
Yo, what's good? How are we?
Right, we're here with Shamai. Shamai, how are you?
I'm good, Ben. How are you?
I'm really, really good.
Good,
We're
good.
now going into a London Regionals tournament where a lot of stuff actually happened.
Mm.
I believe the main thing of this tournament, the elephant in the room, IDK losing their first UK tournament in
yes.
5 years.
But we can get onto that later on. There's more different things in the tournament that happened as
So
well.
we had 6 brand new teams in this tournament. We had Team Jan, Team Golden Stars, Team Super Glitches, Team Mystic Legends, Team Ben, Sam and Blitz, and Team Red Hats.
So didn't you train all those teams as well?
Every last one of those teams was trained on the day by me. It was the first ever time playing, and I take credit in how well they did because of me.
Fair play, man. Fair play.
We also had a new kill record.
Oh yes. That kill record was 44 to 2, I believe. That was the boss. I can't remember who it was against, but 44 kills is the most kills ever to be recorded in a competitive match.
Pretty impressive. There was also
Brilliant.
one team which kind of stood out a bit.
Yes. So we got Team No, who are part of our club scene. Went over to London, and I think the boys smashed it. They took a game off Rock Hoppers, who are historically one of the top teams in the UK, and they almost took a game off the Boss. So, given how the Boss performed in the tournament, that's fantastic from Team No.
So the boss beating IDK. It was a best of 3 match, and the first match I believe IDK won.
Believe so. Yes.
The second match, the boss won.
Mm.
I believe. I could be wrong. And the final match, boss IDK.
Yes.
It was a tight match,
Mm.
and the boss pulled it. Boss pulled it back.
Brilliant to watch.
And they
brilliant to
won.
watch. Yes. I think what we saw there was the Boss. They capitalised on some mistakes from IDK. I don't want to say, but there was a few, which is what they hadn't done historically. And what we saw at the tournament in London, they performed really well. And I think they deserved it, being honest.
I'd like to point out as well, the Rock Hoppers weren't at full force. They had a member from a boss on the team.
Yes.
I believe it was Percy.
Percy. Yes, who's a very good player. So put in a good performance for the Rock Hoppers there. And yeah, maybe the Boss didn't need Percy in that tournament as they showed.
The boss are now officially one of the Well, they were a top flight team, but now they've cemented their history as one of the top flight teams. It's a historic moment is RDK losing that game, and the boss have been clawing away at RDK for a long time now, and it's been a long time coming. It was bound to happen at one point. The boss have just been getting better and better, and no signs are shown down.
It's true. They are technically the future of HADO.
I believe that's all we have for the Coventry Regional. I believe we're going to pass over to Ash now, where me and Ash are going to swap out, and he's going to do the Coventry Local.
So we're moving into one of the final tournaments in this video.
Yes.
Coventry Local Tournament.
Local tournament. Good tournament. There's 6 teams. Teams of different abilities, but it was pretty hard to call at the start of the tournament.
It was really tight. There was obviously some favourites,
Yeah.
some upsets, some changes and stuff. Some interesting games.
That was, man. So where shall we start? Right off the bat.
Oh, first set, was it Triple Threat and Wolfpack?
Yeah.
Triple Threat. Oh, Wolfpack winning the first game, which is potentially understandable.
That was expected, yeah.
Yeah. But then the second game, Triple Threat winning against Wolfpack.
Came out of the blocks, all guns blazing.
It's like, hang on a minute, we're going to a third game playoff. It's really good. I mean, fair enough, Wolfpack did win the third game, but to take the set. But Triple Threat, incredible, well done.
They performed very, very well in that tournament, Triple Threat, with one of the team members from, was it Warpstar, joined the team?
Yes, we got Josh from Warpstar joining Triple Threat, which is really, really good. Because we didn't have Amber, which is one of the solid members of the team as well. So you got Serena, Nathan, and Josh taking part of Triple Threat there. Wolfpack, as well, to be fair, did have a replacement member, should we say? Another Josh from Fighting Mongooses. One of the solid members of the Mongooses, which is really, really good.
Yes.
So thank you, Mongooses, for lending us one of your players.
Putting a good performance. Josh for Triple Threat putting a good performance, but also Josh for Wolfpack putting also equally good performance as well. So
100%.
Happy days. Well, we can go to the favourites, I would say, at the start of the tournament. T-Wolves against Mongooses.
Yeah, I mean, T-Wolves are currently, at this point, second place in the UK on points as far as those points that I've been explaining as we go along. As far as that's concerned, T-Wolves are second place. So obviously they're one of the favourites to win the tournament. So it's expecting that they go in, and when you go up against these guys, it's, can we win this game? Mongooses, T-Wolves, let's push into that. Obviously with T-Wolves, one of the favourites to win.
Yes.
Mongooses coming in there being like, hang on a minute, you ain't winning this. Mongooses, the oldest team in Europe, they come fighting, and fighting Mongooses by all means. But T-Wolves winning both of their games by 1 point.
Great matchup there. The oldest team, the most experienced team in the UK versus team in really good form with T-Wolves in currently second in the ranking. So it's fantastic to watch. But yeah, T-Wolves taking it by 1 point.
100%, absolutely incredible. But yeah, quite a few games like Mongooses and versus Team No went to a third game playoff. A few games went to a third game playoff. Few games going to overtime and stuff. But there is one game we do need to talk about.
Yeah.
Or one match, one set, one best of three that we need to mention. What are you saying?
The final match of the tournament as well. The top 2 teams. So the winner of that match would have took the tournament. That's how big it was. That's how it was hyped up. Myself, maybe Ash agrees with me as well. We had our favourites before the match, but it did not turn out how we expected.
It was, so, I mean, it's between Team No and T-Wolves.
Yes.
I love both teams, but we do train more with T-Wolves because they've got a higher membership. They come train more. And it's incredible to go, actually, Team No don't train half as much as T-Wolves, and yet, so T-Wolves were going in there being like, yeah, we've got this, not a problem. Team No, level-headed.
It's a good way to go about it.
Absolutely incredible. Took both of their games, which led to then Team No winning the tournament in its entirety. Team No's first tournament win.
Yes. It was brilliant to watch. I mean, it would have been, if T-Wolves went on to win, it would have been their first tournament win as well. But, like Ash said, we train both teams. Both teams are proving at a massive rate. So fair play to Team No boys. They did very well.
Incredible. So that wraps up all of the tournaments we've had so far this year. 6 tournaments, whether it's local, regional, national tournaments. Lots and lots of points, and it sets up for the tournament this coming Sunday. League tournament, you have to be in the top 8 teams in the UK to make it into the league tournament. where there are points available for
Yes.
League again. Every single game you play with League is 6 points. Again, more games you win, the more points you get. It's simple. So yeah, we're going to move on to the top 8 teams. Do you want to read them out?
Yes. Okay, so what we have, we'll go in order, so from first to 8. So we got, first place is Synergy, so the first team. Second place is T-Wolves, as mentioned in the other videos. We have got Team No in third place.
That's incredible.
And then fourth place is the Boss.
Yes,
So we've got 3 Coventry teams in the top 3 spaces, which is fantastic for us. And in fifth place, we've got IDK. Just behind IDK, we've got the Fighting Mongooses. And then we've got Barnsley Griffins, who have sneaked into the top 8 after only playing 1 tournament.
Yeah.
Fantastic from Barnsley. Fair
Yeah,
play.
they took first place in their northern
Yeah.
regional, so they gave them loads of bonus points, which pushed them up to that high.
Like
It's
it, I
really
like
good.
it. And then sneaking in as the 8th team by a point is Wolfpack. So that is the top 8 that are going to be taking part, competing in the National League this Sunday. A lot of points, as Ash said, a lot of points up for grabs, and it's going to be good. It's going to be very good, so make sure you tune in.
Let's see who ends up staying in those positions, or if any
100%.
positions move around. There's going to be a lot of
100%.
upsets, a lot of happiness. We'll see what happens.
Let's go.
But yeah, I'm going to transfer out. I'm going to transfer Ben back in, who's going to say a few final words. So thank you very much for chipping in so far, and we'll see you on Sunday from myself.
I'm back, everyone's favourite person on this channel.
If you say so, man.
So guys, thank you to everyone who watched, and we will catch you next time. That is the roundup for this part of the season, and there'll be many more to come as we play more tournaments, have more locals, have more regionals, and yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.